officially recording.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start off right this time.
Who defines what's right?
We're gonna say thank you for joining the Faithfully Unfiltered Moms.
I mean, do we have to though?
No, we don't have
I would just be
to.
like, hey, what's
Hi,
up?
hello everybody.
Yeah. And we're back.
And we're back, episode 2.
To
Yeah.
so how's your Saturday going?
Well, I jam-packed like 3 different things. Because initially the guy was like, oh, can't pick up Dan's new car until Monday. And then all of a sudden it was fixed and we could pick it up today. And guess what? So we picked it up, drove it home. Dan says, now it's not locking. I just like all I can do is just laugh because
You're like,
I was like, well,
yeah.
I'm getting on this, so you better take the kids to the
Yeah.
and we have a car.
Oh, that's glorious.
So happy. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but we're just gonna go drive around.
Okay.
I don't know where we're going, but we're gonna drive around.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So, but you don't look terrible. You said you look terrible. You said you didn't feel so good.
I think Matt fixed the light. No, I felt fine. I just felt like I looked terrible.
Oh,
I was
well,
tired yesterday, but I just feel like I look like death.
This is unfiltered.
Yeah. Like,
I got my contacts
I haven't showered from the gym yet. Just threw on a
delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the good thing is no one can smell you.
Yeah.
The funny thing is though, I put deodorant on thinking someone was gonna smell. And I was like, why am I worrying about this? Why? What am I? No one can smell me.
But you know what? It's good hygiene. So we've decided to talk about, and I'm looking down at my phone. That's what I'm doing. 3 things I want my daughter to know. And the reason, to clarify, the reason we're saying daughter and not child or son is because we have daughters.
Yes.
So it's what we relate to.
Yeah.
So nobody get offended that we're not including boys. It's just we have girls. So
yeah.
I believe it's different. It's very different. You know, I mean, mine are.
Yours? I feel like mine could apply to both.
I mean, maybe like, yeah, it could, but like also, I don't know. This is where I'm coming from speaking about my daughter, and I only have a daughter.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I had a boy, there'd be different things I would put on here, especially for one of them. You'll see, you know, it wouldn't apply at all.
Well, and I'm excited to hear about which ones you chose.
Yeah. So,
or what do you want to go first?
I'm sure. So my first one is
let's do like every other. You do one, then I do one, or something like that.
All right, my first one is to never be afraid to come to me or her father about anything in life, no matter what age you are, whether you're 5 years old or 50 years old. You know, it's like that book says, as long as you're living, my baby you'll be, you know? So like, I just, the reason it speaks so strongly to me is because, you know, even though I have a phenomenal relationship with my parents, you know, there was a time in my life during, you know, my previous marriage that I was afraid to come to them, to let them know the struggles I was dealing with and the situations that were happening in my life, because I was afraid they were going to look at me like a failure.
Yeah.
And, you know, looking back, that they never would have.
Yeah.
They would have just embraced me, supported me, and helped me figure out how to fix the situations I was in. Yeah. You know, instead I suffered alone, you know, and I just never want her to be afraid to come to us for anything, you know, so that she understands you know, as long as we're on this earth, she will never be alone. Yeah. Ever, you know, physically.
So. Yeah. I agree.
That was my first one.
Yeah. I love that. I struggled with that too. I felt like I couldn't on her answer was, well, you just need to work on school and you need to focus on your grades and stuff. And so from then on, I was like, well, I never felt comfortable I could, or I won't. I don't know. I mean, our relationship is phenomenal now. Up until I want to say I had Arlene.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, giving birth and having mom there, that would like, I mean, obviously she couldn't be in there with mine, because of the
yeah.
C-section,
Yeah,
but
C-section.
man, I'll never forget having to walk away from her. I mean, walking
Oh,
like to go, to
yeah.
go get the spinal anesthesia,
Yes.
and oh God, yes,
Yeah.
walking away from Matt too was terrifying, but it's also like when you're in a scary situation and separating
Yeah.
from mommy, I was
You
like,
want your
even
mom.
though I was
I
40 years old,
know.
I was like, no.
No, for sure. I was so grateful. It was so funny because we went to drop off Kobe at my parents' house and my mom was like ready. She's like, I'm
Mhm.
coming with you guys, right? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. I'm in the middle of like having contractions.
Mhm.
And I'm just so thankful that she was there because
Yeah.
she was like Dan was a mess. He was very nervous. But she was very calm. I mean, she knew what
Mhm.
she's had three. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, let me not ramble. Let's not ramble. Let's
Yeah, 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 yeah. Anyway, now your
um
turn. Go.
okay. So mine are I based them a little bit more off of like a biblical standpoint.
Mhm.
Um, but and I actually went over this with the girls last night at dinner time because I was just really excited to share it with them.
Aw.
Well, Arlene,
Yeah, I was
Charlotte
like,
was eating her mac and cheese, like whatever.
she's like, sure.
But I really want them to know that love. I want them to know love and compassion because love is the greatest commandment of all. And then there's a verse that backs it up. Um, Matthew 22:37 through 39. And it says, and he said to him, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And the second is you shall love your neighbor as yourself. And so in relation to that and how I related that to Arlene, because of course she's like, I don't know what that means. I want to
Mhm.
be a mermaid. And she just was talking Dan's ear off about wanting to be a mermaid. And so I said, okay, let me work through this one right here. So I get okay. So when you're 18, I said you could definitely be a mermaid, but when you're 18, you have to learn how to read, write, and you have to know your numbers up to 500. She's like, oh, okay. I said, yeah, there's a mermaid test. When you turn 18, you go to the shore. There's a whole thing. And so, but anyways, I'm rambling. But I told her, I said, you get points towards kindness. You get mermaid magic every time you're kind to somebody. And so love and compassion, right? So being
Mhm.
compassionate towards strangers. And
Mhm.
so just understanding that everyone is fighting their own battle and deserving of love and respect. And it's got so some like mermaid magic because you were kind. So
Aw. That's
anyway, compassion and just to love one another. And like we're really working on being loving towards our sister, our
yeah.
little sister. And
Yeah.
yeah, so mermaid magic and kindness and compassion. That's how you translate it to a 5 year
So is
old,
that all three of yours, or is that just your first
Oh
one?
no, that's just my first one.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess life lessons I have, you know.
No, I love it. No, and that's what's, like you said last episode, it's what's great about us is we're very much alike, but we're different.
Different,
We
yeah.
have different perspectives, and that's
Mhm.
what I hope we'll be able to reach out
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
others.
Okay, so my number two.
Yeah, number two.
Okay, my number two is it's okay to start over.
Yes.
You know, you're not
Hmm.
always going to succeed in life the first or second or third time, but
Hmm.
it's always okay to start over. It's never okay to quit, you
Yeah.
know, and no matter where you are in life, it's okay to start over, you know.
Yeah.
So I think people get stuck on, well, I'm at this point, I haven't done this yet, oh, well, this is it. This is my life,
Hmm.
which is what I thought, many years ago.
Hmm.
You can start over and be happy because your happiness is what's most important. I think that translates to kind of then happiness is being happy in life, you
Hmm.
know, and not settling for a life that you're not happy in because you're afraid to take a chance to do something else,
Yeah.
you know. So,
Did you go through that? Did you go through like a fear of feeling like you couldn't start over?
oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I did
yeah.
too. I did
Oh
too.
yeah. I thought, this is my life. Like this is the sentence I have given myself, like this the
Hmm.
choices you made, you know, I almost was punishing myself. I was like, these choices you made have led you to this point, so you have to deal with it because of
Mhm.
the poor choices you made before this point.
Mhm.
And that wasn't true. You
Yeah.
know, but I was afraid to step out of that and be
Mhm.
uncomfortable to do something else, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, thank God I finally did, and you know, here I am, much happier than I was.
But it's crummy because that's what I thought that I deserved. And then,
Yeah.
because well, I
Well,
mean,
you're young. Like
you're
that's the thing. You know, we were young. Like I was very young when I first started
I was in
the
my
relationship with
yeah.
my,
Yeah.
ex-husband. Like I
Hmm.
was 20 years old, 21 years
Yeah.
old. It's
Me
a
too. Yeah.
baby, a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. You know nothing. You know,
I
absolutely nothing.
knew
God.
nothing.
And I just
No.
thought that I thought he was my world, and that we were just gonna
Hmm.
make everything happen
Hmm.
together. But then when I met Dan,
Yeah.
it was weird how polite and kind and caring he was to is to me.
Yeah.
you
Now,
know?
hang on. I feel like I have to throw an asterisk in here because I don't want anyone watching this and thinking that we're quick to divorce.
Oh no.
That is
Oh
not
no.
where
Mm-mm.
this goes. We both had
No.
solid, and I'm not even getting into why our marriages ended yet. You know, maybe
Mhm.
one day down the road we'll touch on that,
Yeah, we're not going
that we're not, not today, not on episode 2.
there. You have to stick around
Yeah, yeah,
to
to
get the
hear
real
that. Yeah. So yeah,
unfiltered.
we're not getting into that whole story,
Yeah,
but
no.
because and then we could spin off on, yes, marriage takes work. We agree with that,
Yes, I
but
agree. Yeah.
so I just don't want people to think that like it's okay to start
No.
over, so just quit your marriage. No, no,
No, no,
no,
no, no.
that's
Start.
not what I'm
We mean
saying.
no. I think you're talking more along the lines of starting over, like career wise, or like
Yeah, career.
if or like Dan and I, we decided to take a plunge, and in a way we did
Yeah,
start
moving.
over.
Yeah, moving.
Moving
Yes,
is a
exactly.
whole,
Moving your life, it's
yeah,
okay. It's okay.
we started over and make.
Anyway, that's my number
So that
3.
kind of goes along with my number 2,
Okay.
is faith and always have faith and trust in God. Because life has its ups and downs, but through faith we can have and find strength and hope.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I have a verse with it. It's in Hebrews 11:1. And so it says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." And so I have like a little asterisk next to faith, having confidence in what we hope for and in not what we see. Because a lot of times we we're very visual people, and so we see life going one way, and we're thinking, oh my God, how are we going to get out of this, right?
Yeah.
And then to just trust God. Even I was watching something, I think it was yesterday, a couple days ago. Can you trust God in the wait? But God promises to take care of us. And so even I found myself in the waiting of, getting the process of what are we going to do with this car? It doesn't work. It's
Yeah.
not drivable. Dan is driving my car. And there were some mornings where I just would start spiraling, and I'm like, is this going to be like this forever?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, because sometimes in moments it feels like it's never gonna get better,
yeah,
you
it's like,
know.
God, what are you doing? Or what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
And but trusting God in the wait, and can you get through that wait? It's hard, but it's doable.
It's
Because
hard,
even
but it's not to cut you off,
no, it's okay.
but I feel like it's there's sometimes you have a peace about it though when you can really put your faith in him in those situations. Like that's the reward, is when you can put your
Yeah.
faith in him in the waiting. He'll, like, I feel like he will then give you a peace to be like,
Mm-hmm.
be able to take a deep breath and sit in that waiting in an okay place, instead of in a place of fear. You're in a place of
Yes.
peace,
Yes.
in the waiting.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Just
So,
trade it in, see what we can get. And
mm-hmm.
even in that process, we were there at the dealership, and they're like, okay, great, we're going to give you this much. And then they looked at the car, and they're like, oh, we can't give you that much. And then it was like, Lord Jesus, I had to step out because I was really upset. Like, how could you promise something and then take it back? I mean,
Hmm.
I knew what they said. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure you're
Hmm.
going to give us that much?
Yeah,
Did you
you're
look at
like
the car?
you're
Did you look at it like under the hood?
like maybe they won't notice.
He won't notice, you know? Yeah. That it's totally shaking, misfiring. But anyway,
A
yeah, that's
few moments
anyway, long
later.
story short, he's got a car, so that's that was my number two.
Okay. All right, my number three. This is the one that's like obviously directed toward a daughter.
Uh-huh.
Um, to find a man that will be your protector and your provider. There's nothing wrong with your husband leading your family.
Oh yeah.
And basically you and I have talked about this so much, the whole gender roles,
Yes.
like
Mm-hmm.
that is what God intended,
Mm-hmm.
in the Bible.
Yes.
God
It's the
gave us,
God ordained, yeah.
yeah, like man is to care for his family.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, I have nothing wrong with a woman working,
Right.
obviously,
Right.
I'm a
Yeah.
working mom,
You're working mom.
but I trust, Matt and his decisions, and I let him
Mm-hmm.
take the lead. Of course, I put in my opinions. We have discussions,
Well, that's a part, yeah, that's
that's, but
being a
I
team.
I lean on him. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't ever want to imagine her being with a weak man,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
one that has to lean on her
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because, again, I've been in that boat before
Yeah.
and it's a terrible boat to be in. You just
Yeah.
want it to sink. It's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
horrible,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's basically it. I want her to find a man that she can lean on, that
Yeah.
she can always feel safe, because kind of like you do your dad, like you feel safe knowing your dad's around, knowing your
Mm-hmm.
dad's there, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
and one day our dads aren't going to be there. That's just life.
Yeah.
So then your husband needs to be that man,
Mm-hmm.
to be your rock, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I hope
Yeah.
she always looks for that in a man, and I'm sure she will, because they say that you try to gravitate towards someone like your father, and she's
Mm-hmm.
got she's got a great example of a
Yes.
good strong man in her life, so that's something I'm
Yeah.
eternally grateful to God for, that
Yeah.
she has a good dad. So
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. My even just like the situation when we were down in South Florida for the extra 2 weeks.
mhm,
Um, I was so thankful for my dad because he provided above and beyond, but
mhm,
then he really Dan didn't have the dad figure
yeah,
growing up.
yeah,
So I think in some way my dad had to step up and be that for Dan.
yeah,
And in that situation, it's funny. My dad was like, Dan is going through it, because he was talking to Dan and during, obviously we were all communicating through the whole
mhm.
situation. And my dad was like, okay, Dan, we're going to talk about what we're going to do. And then we're going to pray together. And my dad was like, but you're not letting me pray by myself. You're going to pray with me. And they just implementing, we are people of prayer because
Mhm,
that's what pray through the situation and to have that example as my dad is such a rock for me
mhm,
going through life experiences.
mhm.
With him and I would always have these early morning talks because he's a morning guy. I'm a morning person, and I'd always just find him in the kitchen singing, playing his guitar. I guess that's probably why I'm such a singing person. And or we would just have a chat about God, and or this was our experience and this is something that anyway. Yes, dads are such a rock. Such
How you just stop yourself. You're like,
I'm
anyway, yeah.
sorry.
So
I know. I am not editing another 1 hour video.
No, that's why I was trying to like keep it short and sweet.
I'm sorry. Okay.
It's
I know,
okay. No, no,
I
you're
love
fine.
talking
You're
to you.
fine.
That's the problem.
It's fine. I mean, you see what I'm
Like
doing.
I can
Great.
see exactly what
Yeah.
you're doing. Yeah.
Anyway, you get the point.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it where people are doing it and they're like side by side.
Yes, I've
Yeah.
seen, yeah. I saw one the other day where one was on top and one was on the bottom, and I was like, whoa, that's really cool.
Like the
But
Brady Bunch. Like you're
kind
like,
of.
or Hollywood Squares. You're like,
You're like, yeah, yeah, something like that. Or like I'm over here, over
yeah.
there.
Oh my gosh.
Craziness.
Funny.
Okay. So my last one is the value of forgiveness. To
Mm,
know and appreciate the value of forgiveness.
that's a good
Um,
one.
because there is freedom in forgiveness. And I feel like
Yeah.
that goes along, actually, this actually flows very well with our number two to number three, right? Because it's good to start over.
Mm-hmm.
And in the starting over, you have to forgive.
Yeah.
Because without forgiveness, you have a bag of rocks on your back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's power in forgiveness, the freedom in forgiveness, and
Freedom. I love
forgiveness.
that. I love the freedom parts. That's
Yeah, because I
accurate.
mean, in the forgiveness brings peace. Forgiveness is not only a gift to others, but also to yourself, and it
Yes.
releases the burden of negative emotions.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a verse. I think it's
In
Peter. Peter goes to God, to Jesus, and is saying, am I supposed to forgive this guy up to 7 times? And then God says, he says, actually, no, you're supposed to forgive them up to 70 times 7. So, your brother sins against you however many times, you forgive them, not only that one time, not that second time, but every other single, every other
mm-hmm.
time that he sins against you. And that's really powerful for me because I am someone who holds a lot of actually, sorry, Luke is that's about the judging. Sorry, hold on. That's in Matthew. And then in Luke it talks about do not judge, and you shall by no means be judged, and do not condemn, and you shall by no means be condemned. Release, and you will be released. And so that goes along with the forgiving and forgiveness. You're released from that weighted
Mm-hmm.
heaviness. Yeah, I
Yeah, there's
am.
no point in holding on to stuff. It doesn't do you any good.
No.
No, does you no good.
Mm-mm.
It brings no benefit to your life. And if my
No.
thing is if it's not bringing benefit to your life, what are you doing with it in your life?
Yeah. But
Really. That's kind of
how long did it take you to learn that, to figure that out?
I'll be 41 in June. So
Yeah. Well, for me, it took a while too,
yeah.
because even in my first relationship with my first husband, something would happen and I would hold on to it. And then I would almost like, that classic, like you'd use it against that person kind of situation.
Yeah.
Super unhealthy.
So it
Super
physically
unhealthy.
is unhealthy.
Physically
Like you
unhealthy.
physically are it's unhealthy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't,
Not just mentally, it's unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, it probably took me what I was 34 when I got divorced, 33. I was angry for a long time too, and that was not fun.
Yes.
Being
No.
angry is not fun. Like it's just easier to be happy, And I got stuff happens, pisses you
Yeah.
off. Like that's
Yeah.
life. But
Yeah.
to carry it around, like this cloud over you, it's
Mhm.
no fun for you. It's no fun for anyone you're around,
Mhm. Mhm.
you know. And I don't know. Yeah,
Well,
I
it's
like
such
that.
a heavy burden to carry.
Hmm.
It's not worth it. It's not worth holding the anger and the
Hmm.
um yeah. It's better to forgive. A couple situations where I've just kind of lost friends. They just disappear for whatever reason. And their own reasons. They have their own reasons. Um to forgive myself because I'm a person who will hold myself accountable for what did I do? What did I do to lose this person that I held so dearly to my heart, or forgive myself? I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. So
No.
I have to forgive myself for thinking that I did something.
Yeah.
And then just
Yeah.
to forgive them,
Yeah.
I don't even know where I'm going with this, but to forgive them that
Forgive.
you're forgiven. We are forgiven.
Oh man, you go down a rabbit hole of then like talking about second chances and this and
Oh
that.
no. Oh no. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Second.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool you
Mm,
twice,
I
shame on
used
you.
to say that.
Yeah. What do you think now?
I think people can change. I think 100% people can change. Um, I think every situation is
That's
different.
true. You have a difference. Yeah, you have a
Every
different.
situation is different, but I've had people in my life in the past that,
Hmm.
we had massive falling outs that I thought I would never speak to them again. Never
Okay.
even think about speaking to them again.
Hmm.
Um, and now they're back in my life and they're people that I hold very dear and consider them very close friends. And, you
Yeah.
know, because people change, I changed.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
changed.
I
So
agree with
if
me,
I can
us changing.
change,
Yeah.
I
So can
should be
somebody
able
else.
to accept that somebody else can
To give someone the forgiveness.
and give someone the forgiveness and a second chance. And,
Yeah.
like the person I'm thinking of, like they were the first person to reach out to me when I separated from, my first husband.
Okay.
I was in an industry that I thought I had all these friends in.
Mm-hmm.
And once I was separated, I that industry just nobody reached out. Nobody,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Interesting.
then this
Mm-hmm.
one person did, and we hadn't spoken in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And she reached out because she had heard that we were separated, and she said, I wanted to check on you and just see if how you're doing. I know we haven't spoken. I know we had a falling out, but I was thinking of you. And she
Mm-hmm.
was just like, would you be willing to meet for dinner? I said,
Wow.
I said yes. And let me tell you, rekindled a friendship that I'm so glad I have.
Yeah.
And it meant so, so much. Like that simple message at that time of my life meant so much. I don't even think she knows how much that
Mm-hmm.
meant to me
Mm-hmm.
that she did that. When, again, my whole life that I knew before, I felt like I was just abandoned by,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's where I just think differently of when I have people that I don't get along with anymore or something. It's like, well,
Yeah.
you don't know what they're going through.
Don't know that I've quite had that experience yet.
Yeah,
So,
no, and that's the thing. Like
yeah.
you just
Well, and that's life. I mean,
you
you've
let
had
people
different.
show you
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
what they are, and if they're
Yeah.
showing you ugliness, then okay, they're showing you ugliness. But
Mm-hmm.
if all of a sudden they're being a light in your life,
Yeah.
because if God did that to us,
Yeah.
we'd be screwed.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
He lets us screw up every single day, over and over and over,
Mm-hmm.
and still lets us come back.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
figure why not give people second chances and third chances, and as long as it's not overly affecting your life and
Of
being
course.
detrimental to you or your family.
And
Yeah.
I can think of three people actually who have just
Do you want to call them out right now?
yeah, actually
By name.
this person one and two and three. No, but I
Let's
can
get real awkward.
there's just three situations that happened that those people just decided they were done with, whatever. It was hurtful. It was really hurtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows what'll
Sure.
happen in 5 years from now, 6 years? You
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, no. And you don't know. And that's, you know what? And again, going back to allowing God to handle, whatever.
Hmm.
I have peace about it. I'm not worried about it.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Everyone
Anyway,
in your life now, it's like, was it me?
no, it wasn't. Because if you're listening to this, you are not that person. Dun
Oh,
dun dun. Oh wait, this is public. Oh.
oh my gosh.
Can you imagine? We'll see like a little username with like a 123 XYZ, and we're like, oh,
Yeah, this is
maybe is it that
when we get
person?
negative comments. How we start the trolling. Oh
Whatever,
gosh.
as long as it gets us.
Gets us views. Oh
Oh,
gosh, that's funny.
so silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Oh my
I don't
God.
know where that was going.
Sorry. I just thought of a really good transition you need to somehow add in here
Okay. Shh.
at this portion of. I know, but I kind of wanted to get her into group stuff, like classes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And you know what? That would be good for you too.
yeah. Why? Because I
Because
need friends. Is
no,
this what you're
no, you
saying?
don't. You don't need friends.
Because I just
You've
talk to
got
my
me.
computer now.
Because you've got me, babe. No,
You're
no,
like,
no,
you need to meet people. I'm worried.
no. You
You're
have
like, your Saturdays
friends.
are consisting of Zoom calls. That's like Indian. What are don't put you better cut this shit out because this is looking real bad. We can't
I
post
res
this.
I respect everybody, okay? I just my point was she's very sweet. She always goes and greets her husband at the car when he gets home. And
Oh,
anyway, so I saw her and I was like, "Oh, now's my chance." I like I swing the door open and I like am standing at the edge of the stairs and I was like, "Hi." It's like this is gonna sound really weird, but I have a crib. Is there any chance you guys would be interested in the crib? And at first they're like kind of like looking at each other, like, what in the world? What the fuck is this lady? And they're like, actually, yeah, we do need a crib. And I was like, really? I was like, great. Can you take it out of my house? Because I don't want it anymore. I was like, it's broken down and everything. And anyway, they came in and I showed them the pictures of it together, and they were so thankful.
oh,
It,
good.
and it's just, sometimes you just got to follow your gut instinct. A lot of times I ignore it. That intuition.
So, okay, because I'm curious. So Charlotte is on a mattress in the room with Arlene,
Hmm. Yeah.
and you just trust her loose? No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. Like, really?
Yeah, she's
I
on the floor. So I mean, if she rolls
like
around,
what?
she's just gonna land on the floor. She's
I
not.
know, but what if she
But
gets
what
up and
was
starts playing with her toys or does something? I don't know.
so? She'll go back to bed. No, she doesn't do that. Luckily. And okay, so what she was, so the crib that we had converted into a toddler bed. And so we had converted it into the toddler bed option.
Hmm.
And what was happening is she was standing up in the middle of the night. And I was really scared. Like she couldn't figure out how to get out, even
Yeah.
though there's like a tiny little spot where you just
So
scooch your
you're
little
afraid
butt
she's
back.
gonna just go whoop.
Yes, I was afraid she was just going to decide to walk right off and then like,
Well,
I mean,
that's
she
not.
already,
I mean, I understand why you have the mattress on the floor. Like
yeah.
that I get.
No, you're just
My
wondering why.
paranoia is like Maggie would just be walking loose in there and like find something to shove in a light socket, like or find a way to find something to choke on. Even though Matt told me, he goes, yeah, when she goes in her room, I just let her go play in there unattended. I'm like,
Well, but
she's 14
shouldn't
months old.
everything in her room already be kid friendly? Like,
But
what?
what if
What if?
he like climbs onto like the rocking chair
There's
and
no
then
rocking chair. We took it out.
yeah, she
But
has a
okay, so
rocking chair.
the other reason why we did this is because I couldn't fit into the toddler bed with her because I lay with her. And this is what I did. This is what we do. This is actually what we've done with Arlene to help her go to sleep is we would lay with her. And then now Charlotte, I lay with her. And so we lay with together on the bed and she falls asleep. And
Got it.
that's what has worked with me and
Got it.
Arlene. And Arlene now does big girl sleeps and she's really proud of her big girl sleeps. Of course, it's taken 4.5 years. No, 5.
Meh.
But
Shut up.
yeah, that's just where we're at. And so, but Charlotte now, I lay with her and she goes to sleep. And when she wakes up in the middle of the night, if she wakes up in the middle of the night, then yes, it is a pain in the butt because she'll walk over to
We're
me
not
or
talking
to
about
us
anything important right
into
now.
our room. And we're still recording. Do you
We're
have a
done.
timer?
I can stop recording. Or wait, we have to like exit. Now I got Matt wandering around. There we go.
That's what I've been waiting for.
Babe, now the bathroom light's on with the door wide open.
There goes the lighting effect.
That'd be the oil.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Yeah.
not here, so I can't yell at him.
Dan's
He's at
not there,
the
so
park
she
with the
can't yell
girl.
at him. Door's still open. Well,
You messed something up. You better drive back down with your new car that doesn't lock.
it doesn't lock. He drives back down. He
Oh.
gets stolen somewhere because he doesn't lock it.
Luckily, we did get gap insurance, so if someone wants to steal it, then we can get a better car.
Oh, that's good. Oh,
Um,
oh boy. Yeah, we gotta wrap this up.
she's
There's a
awake.
bit- I don't know. Can you see?
Oh, there she is. She's sitting up. All
We're
right.
sitting
Yeah.
up.
No, I gotta call my crew back and I gotta figure out what we're doing the rest of this beautiful day.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Arlene's birds. It would have been better if I had that off.
Do you want to
Yeah,
start
put the-
over?
Yeah, let's start right over. I think this
Alright,
is too
so-
tall too. Okay, I'll talk to you later.
This is where you can put the 2 hours later.
Oh wait, we gotta sign off. So how? Okay, what did we do last time? I don't remember.
I think we just
Your
said,
light
"All
went
right."
off.
Yes. So should I just go goodbye?
Goodbye. See you later.
Oh,
It's like the birds and the
yeah.
I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Oh boy,
Okay, bye.
she's crying. I'll see you later.
So wait. So join us.
I'm gonna sign
for
off.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.
I gotta
Wait,
stop.
how do I leave?